Welcome to Divine Honey Podcast. I'm your host, your friend, Tamika Johnson.
And I'm your other host and friend, Tim Johnson.
If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This show is about human experiences. This includes thought provoking conversations and our Divine Honey guests sharing stories about love, life, journey, and purpose. If you're watching live or on the replay and you feel inspired, show some love in the chat. This is your inspirational podcast.
We need that like DJ Clue bomb that pew, 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 pew. We'll get there.
Right.
We'll get there. Like,
We're gonna
subscribe
get.
though.
What did you say?
I said like and subscribe if you can. You know what I'm saying? Show love.
Show some love. How are you, brother? It's been 2 weeks.
It's been a little bit, bro. I'm tired, boss.
What are you tired from?
Work, man. This shit. What comes higher pay comes more responsibility. You dig? They got
Yeah.
your boy working, man. A lot of brain power being used. I'd rather it be that than physical labor. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's tiring. Tired.
Yes.
How you
What was
doing?
you doing? I'm doing good, working. I had a long work week. So here we are. What were you doing yesterday? You was doing some volunteering.
Oh yeah, I sit on the Be Well Foundation board. If you guys don't follow it or anything like that, you can. I'll put it in the chat. Um, but yeah, it's a nonprofit. Essentially, our mission is to bridge the gaps between our youth here in like the metro, the Des Moines metro area, compared to those youth out in the suburbs. It feels as though, and this could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? We don't have any data or anything like that, but it does feel as though a lot of our youth in Des Moines are left out, whether that's sports, transportation, access to anything. So we're just trying to provide that access so that youth in Des Moines and even their families have it, because it's important. Everybody needs what they need, and we try to
Mhm.
bridge that for them. So we were at the park yesterday from 11 to about 1:30. There was like a multicultural fest over on the north side of Des Moines. Super dope. Handed out some pamphlets and things. If you want more information about the foundation, hit me. Uh, just a key at heart. You can hit me on that tag. She'll let me know that you messaged her, and I can give you more information. We're taking donations. We need volunteers. We got a big tournament, basketball tournament, happening October 26th. I don't know if we have any listeners from Iowa, but if we do, or if you're in Arizona, you want to travel to Iowa for that tournament, we'd love to have you. But yeah, it's a good day for the kids, man. 9th through 12th graders come out and hoop. Free food, activities, great community day. We try to change that narrative for the north side of Des Moines because it doesn't always get the best narrative.
I love it.
Oh, one more thing, we'll have some pre-order stuff coming out too. So if you follow Bree on Instagram, she'll share it. Follow Tamika on Instagram, she better share it. I know she be bogus with the shares, but I gotta share her stuff. She don't share none of mine, but we gonna get better at that.
You don't
Um,
tag me.
I don't gotta tag you. If you see it on my page, share it
Who says I look at your stuff?
because I can see who looks at my stuff. What you talking about? What did you say? Yep, the merch is good. So we'll have some pre-orders. High quality stuff. The CEO and president, Billy Weathers, local rapper, activist in Des Moines, super cool dude. He designs some really good stuff. So like I said, just be on the lookout for that. It'll be here probably next week, low key, or the week after. It's going to be soon because the tournament is October 26th. So we want to try to paint the north side beautiful colors that day. So any other questions, just hit me. Timmy J319 on Instagram, and then just a key at heart. You can hit Brienne's page and get in tune if you want to. No pressure, but we still need donations. So if you got $1, go ahead. You hear it?
Y'all go support. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know we've been gone. Oh, okay. What have I been doing? So I went to Minneapolis to visit my friend. I have to talk about this. And for those who don't know, I'm a big Prince fan. Though I've been to Minneapolis many times, but I always would forget that he lived there, right? I mean, like like the last time I was there, as we were leaving, I was like, oh shoot, because they turned his house into a museum. So you see, I got my Prince glass.
Oh my god, you would. That's a nice cup though.
The love symbol. And then it says on there, it says the Prince Estate, official and approved. So this is authentic.
That's authentic merch. Look.
So what I loved about it, if you want to go there, there's like 3 different packages. So you don't have free range of his house, right? You have to pay for these packages. And they do keep your phone, the first part.
Yep.
Like
No
most
pictures.
of it. So it's,
Yep.
well, they're going to put it in a pouch and lock it. And you can keep
Yeah, no pictures, bro.
Yeah. Until you get to a designated spot. So when you come in, there's like the reception area. And then it has like, all this stuff, music playing. And then you walk, you see all his plaques, which, for Prince, like numbers weren't important to him. They're important to us. So there they are. And you see, the first thing you see is his eyes. And the
His
love.
eyes?
His eyes, like a picture of his eyes. And they let you know that, remember, there's eyes always watching you here at Paisley Park. It's cool. So then you get to go.
That's kind of creepy, but I understand. I get it.
You get to go in these different rooms, get to see things, a lot of instruments. It's just really cool. And then learning about him, like he bought that house when he was 29 years old, off of the residuals of Purple Rain. Purple Rain was such a big
Purple Rain.
Yes. And his goal was always for it to be a museum, what Paisley Park would be. And you got to see his studios. You got to see how like he broke down music and how he was good with technology. So some of those sounds you hear, he like took like a sound machine and like took it apart and made it do those things.
Oh, wow.
And so the guy who made this machine wanted to like create that, do an updated version and create that. But he couldn't get something this guy invented. He couldn't get it to do what Prince was doing with it. So he calls Prince and is like, how did you do it? What'd you think Prince said?
Hell no.
Hell no. Yeah. So just kind of, it was just really cool. Like I liked when they talked about, when he went through the phase of he was the artist formerly known. And back then they thought he was crazy, right?
Yeah, they probably thought he was a lot of things.
Yeah, but really it was about ownership and not being a slave to these record companies. Now people are on the same bandwagon as him.
Yeah, they get it. They get it now. Yeah.
They get it now. And we got to go like where he had like where he performed in his house, and he performed like some music videos there. Other people use his space. He did a lot for a lot of people. It was just really cool. Then we got to take pictures of his clothes. You can see all his high heels. I just love Prince. He was a sexy man to me. He was that dude to me ever since I was a little girl.
Yeah, I don't know, bruh. I mean, maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Him being sexy? What don't you know? Are you talking about the music?
He's just he's different. I feel like he's like you got your wine drinkers, you got beer drinkers, you got liquor drinkers. Everybody has like their preference. He's like an eclectic taste.
He's that dude. Nothing compares. Yeah, yes. Just a cat heart, sexy. Look, I have a plant named Purple Rain. Oh, she's right behind me. There she is. My snake plant. Purple Rain. I want to get a plant named Apollonia.
Hey, real talk though. And in regard to Purple Rain, I don't know why they let Trey Songz let him do that. It was terrible.
It was terrible. Did you see Prince's face? He was like,
what are we doing?
It was horrible. But he contributed a lot to the culture and to musicianship. and he meant a lot to the people of Minneapolis, but he meant a lot to a lot of people, and including myself.
Yeah, he had a big impact. I ain't gonna lie to you. They got a whole Dave Chappelle skit on him.
He was that dude. But my friend yesterday when I went to a fish fry, she was telling me, they have it on Airbnb. You can stay in a room. She sent it to me today. Yes, I did see this other little kind of looked like a little house, a guest house. It's dedicated to Purple Rain. It was Prince's room in the movie.
Does he got family?
He has a sister. I think the sister runs the estate.
I was about to say, who gets all the money now that he's gone?
I don't know. But I know they do a lot to keep that estate running.
Right. And then he didn't have children, did he?
No, he had one child. It died like 6 days after.
Oh, really?
Being born, yeah.
Oh, well, you know a lot about this dude.
I love Prince.
Yeah.
Cool. That was my trip to Maine. So shout out to I went to visit my friend Kate. Shout out to her hospitality. Y'all, Kate cooks. She made African food for me twice, and she cooked every day. And I got to spend time with her boys. It was so much fun, and thank you for having me. And I will be back again.
Sounds pretty cool, bud.
Sounds pretty cool.
How long were you there for? A week?
I was there for a week.
I got you.
So
you take long stays with people's houses, don't you?
That's because look, it's great.
Tamika don't come for a couple of days. If Tamika come to your house, she's staying for a week or longer.
They want me to. Here's the thing. They want me to. When I was going to visit my friend Latifah, I was like, oh, I'll come like Thursday to a Sunday. And she's like, why aren't you just staying for a week?
It's all good, bro. I just think it's funny. It's all good. If that's how it is.
What's funny about it?
Bro, when you go visit someone, how many people we got listening? Like 2, just Bree? on the run back. If you could please put in on the chat, because we'll see it at another time. When you go stay at somebody's house, bro, what is the length of stay?
As long as they say you can stay.
Can I finish my question? 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8+. What is the length of stay?
I say 7. Look, because I'm coming from out of town.
I don't even need any justification.
They want me to. They want me to.
We know what it is, Tamika. I was just asking a question.
I want to ask, how long should I be staying at your house?
You can stay as long as you want. I'm not tripping. You took offense to my question because
I'm not offended. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not offended. I just talk with a lot of excitement.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. But I did poke a vein though. Look.
How long?
I don't know. That's why I posed the question. Because I was just making an observation that when you do go stay you stay at people's house for a week.
I know, but I'm asking you, how long should I be staying at your house?
You can stay as long as you want. We're family. We lived in a duplex. You was at our place for like 2 months. So it don't matter.
It was 5 weeks.
That's almost 2 months. 6 weeks is 2 months, bro.
Facts. Jessica Hart said it runs in the family, talking with excitement for sure. Yes, I stayed for 5 weeks the first time. Then when Kingston was born, I stayed for 7 weeks.
Yeah, 2 months.
That was
It's all good, bro. Oh, 8 weeks is 2 months, I guess. All right. So a month and a half. No, it's all good. Yes. You know I got to crack a joke.
Let's run a poll on that. So whoever watches, put in the comments how long should a guest stay?
Yeah. Because when you come in December, which you'll be here 2 weeks?
I really want to narrow it down to 2 weeks. Like I want to do 2 weeks in the summer and 2 weeks in
the winter.
In the winter, I want to narrow it down to 2 weeks. But because your winters are crappy and I want to go see my grandma.
They haven't been that. They weren't. We're now not getting snow really until like January, February, and I almost like truly. I think we only had last year, like last winter was like very, very, very light. It was a lot of. We had a lot of cold days, but
Yeah.
I think it really only snowed like really snowed. Like we had light coverage of snow, but I think we only had like 3 or 4 storms. It wasn't bad last winter.
So, yeah, I just get worried about that. So I try to keep a third week as a cushion just in
Right,
case, like, something happens with the weather.
right.
So I'll let you know when I buy my ticket. I want to narrow it down to 2 weeks apiece because I'd be doing too much. I think one time I was there for a month. I was like, I need to go home. I know y'all tired of me eating y'all food. Oh, I have another poll question. So when you go to people's houses, like someone asked when I
to
go
the
to my
caveat,
San
to the caveat, for an extended stay, you got to put the extended stay. Now there's a buffer in there for like the host to host, but for an extended stay, when do you chip in?
Look, I feel like a week. I mean, depends who you're staying with and how they come off. Like, okay, the last two trips I went on, I didn't like chip in on food because they did not want me to. They was like, "You're a guest.
Right,
You're gonna
facts.
eat with it." Now that's the host to host part. Now when I get into those 4 weeks with y'all, I mean you're my family. I look when I do go to the store, I ask you y'all want anything, but y'all already got food, like lots of it.
That's not. It's just the gesture, bro. It's the gesture. That's
But
all.
the gesture when I go to the store and say, "What do y'all want anything?" Don't that count?
Hey, hold on. Time out. Speaking of,
And I still buy the stuff that I particularly eat that you
no,
guys
I
don't.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. We're not even tripping. But let me ask y'all another poll question. If someone says, "Get me a cheeseburger," from a store, and you bring them back a cheeseburger, and there's nothing on that cheeseburger, who is in the wrong? If they just say, "Can I get a cheeseburger?" You get them what they ordered. Who is in the wrong? Is it the person that is requester, or is it the person that's ordering? If someone says, "Get me a cheeseburger,"
Yo, I was so mad. It was meat and cheese.
but he asked for a cheeseburger. I bought a cheeseburger back.
Oh no, I was upset. You have a point. I couldn't
I was
see
like,
it.
"Damn, you act like I killed somebody for this."
Look, I was really mad.
Hot, bro, hot. I'm like, "Damn, you asked for a cheeseburger. I brought a cheeseburger back."
Oh, Tim. So when you guys come visit here, I will get the hospitality. We're gonna get an Airbnb though.
Oh, facts.
Guess what? I'm gonna put in on the Airbnb as well. We can split it between us.
I
I'm gonna
appreciate
stay
that.
there.
I appreciate that. I said I appreciate that. We probably do next. I think Landon wants to go to Isla for spring break,
Mm-hmm.
so I think we're gonna do that. So maybe probably next summer we probably come out there, come and kick it. Kingston will be 4.
Yeah. You want to come early summer so it's not so hot for you guys.
Yeah,
Oh
probably
well,
like
you guys can't help that though because of your schedules.
their
Anyway.
work schedules. Because I being a new employee, I only get like I think like a little over like 4.8 hours or maybe a little over 5 hours of pay period. So I only get like a day and a half off a month. That's what I accrue.
Well, we'll work it out. And guess what? I will order us some groceries. That's my hospitality. Now, will I make something? I don't know. We all like maybe me and mom. If I say me and mom, that means me.
If we got
I'll
someone with a
figure it.
grill, me and Bree can cook every night. Cooking's not the issue, bro.
Okay. I'll see. So no one can give me crap
If
about that.
we had the grill at the house, we grill every day. But we
Well,
had birds procreating in my grill, so I had to let it go.
Well, you guys, I guess let's get to the topic. Shoot.
Oh, it was good. Yeah, we was just chopping it up.
So it's Divine Honey favorites. So kind of just reflecting on obviously all the episodes are my favorite. There were some that I did alone. I didn't like doing it alone. I like person interaction. A lot of it I had guests. I had amazing guests. And then my brother was a guest a few times, and then now he's on here with me every Sunday. Bless you. And so kind of wanted to reflect on what shows kind of just stood out to us, and kind of some shows that kind of rated well or got a lot of impressions or views. It's not even about the number. It's just in totality, in the last 30 days, right? Because I saw some old episodes come up from 2022 that have been watched in the last 30 days. So
really? Giving some airplay?
Yeah. So I like that. So I guess I can kick it off. The shows. Well, should we go with the shows that stand out for us first, or the analytics that I got?
Let's do the analytics. Actually, I'm very curious about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the last. They do 28 days. So, and today is actually my channel's birthday. I don't know. It's probably my channel in a whole.
We probably need to take a shot.
Yeah. I don't need no shot. But
yeah, same. Cheers.
Cheers. So from August 2022, you know what's been played? Life in Between, the episode with Josh.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So that episode was about Josh growing up in small town Iowa and being a biracial man, and just his point of view on his experience.
Yeah.
What his experience was.
All him.
All him. It was a fun show. It was a fun show, and he provided a lot of information. It's great, coming from a man, Sometimes when you touch on these topics of being biracial or of mixed race, I mostly, probably because I'm a woman, hear it from a woman's point of view. So it's great hearing it from a man's point of view.
What is your point of view being mixed raced?
I'm not mixed race.
27.
It wasn't 27. It was 24. But I didn't grow up. Identity wise, Tim, I look like I'm a black woman.
Okay, I just was curious. I didn't know.
Tim, how was it for you growing up mixed race, Tim?
It was tough. I mean, I didn't really know I was mixed though. A lot of people would assume that I was mixed though, just because we were light skinned.
That's true, but then
everybody assumed that we were mixed.
But I think there's ignorance. Two black parents can.
No, there's a lot of ignorance to that. I know. There's a lot of ignorance to that, but I'm just saying, what it was is people assumed that we were mixed, just because we were a lot lighter than, lighter skinned folks get a better rep than the darker skinned folks. So since we were lighter, people thought we was mixed.
So then we're getting into colorism, pretty much, which is insane.
Yeah.
Well,
But shout out to Josh though, man. It's always empowering, man, because we gotta have those supports set up for men to express those things. Because for y'all that don't know, Adair Casey, so that's I want to say it's probably 20 miles outside of Waukee. But yeah, he was probably one of him and his brother, and they was going through it. White mom, 2 black children, 2 black sons at that. So it's hard. It was hard. So, but yeah, he's a great man. He has 3 kids of his own, doing his thing. So shout out to Josh, man. We probably need to get him back on here for a reunion or something.
Yeah, it was a lot of cool conversations around that topic. Yeah, she said, "Thank God for 23andMe to save him." Yeah, and that's where Tim gets those statistics of 23. I mean, here's the joke with me. My mom used to say my dad was Puerto Rican. So that's why he brings that up a lot. But still, like, how you identify is your experience. So
No facts. Yeah.
right. So we're just joking. But the joke is, remember when your mom told you, remember when you were Puerto Rican? So when I took the test, I went to Puerto Rico on my 40th birthday. I told you guys this story. For those who haven't heard it, I told my mom, I said, there better be, bro, it wasn't.
Came
I,
back.
I, I, I saw the thing, yeah, because slave trade and all that stuff. You're gonna see, you're gonna be mixed. Black people, all of us are gonna be mixed with a lot of things. And so then it came up like, my brother was telling me when he says I'm 24% European. When I met my dad's side of the family, they sent me a picture of my great grandfather, and he was a Caucasian. And then you have the slave trade mixed in there. But my mom lied. I wasn't Puerto Rican, and I had the nerve to be in Puerto Rico on my 40th birthday opening that. But I would like to bring him on and maybe other people to have more conversation around about race
Yeah,
and
that'd be cool.
identity, different
Yeah.
perspectives, and then our experiences do shape our belief systems for sure.
Right.
And what
Right.
belief systems do we need to get rid of?
Right. How do we
So
grow in that? Yeah, facts.
yeah. So that was from
So is
2022.
that the highest viewed one?
No, this is going off of impression. So he had
Oh,
like a high impression. So let's go in order. But that was one I wanted to point out because it was from a couple years ago. So, how art is a tool for self-discovery. We had Izzy on. That was our last one that
he
had
went
a
crazy.
really high impression.
He went crazy.
Yeah. What did you feel about that one? That was our last.
I feel like that was our best one. Like, I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of bias in there too. Just like seeing him. I think I met Izzy either right at the end of his 9th grade year. Yeah, I think it was right at the end of his 9th grade year is when I got hired at North. So I had known Izzy for a while. So like in him like truly like finding himself, figuring out what he wants to do with his life, like that was powerful. And my man's only 21 years old, 21 years old. And it goes to like a lot of the things that we talk about with like emotional intelligence, social emotional learning. When you're able to do those deep dives to figure that out, it's love. We got adults right now to this day. We still got adults that won't do that work. That self-discovery work. So it was just very powerful. I thought it was very empowering just to know that people are out here doing the stuff that they need to do. And I think the pathway to a lot of those things is just taking the risk. And I know he's younger, so like there's not like a lot of what I'm looking for. Like so like when taking a risk, you got that fear of like losing, there's an anxiety of losing something. But when you're younger, it's probably a little bit more easier to take a risk versus taking that deep dive at a later age, just based off experience and things that you know and have come across. But I just think his story like speaks for itself in that take it. Like if you're not happy and you can't figure out who you are, take that time to sit in that silence to figure out your direction and path that you want to do, because it is empowering, and you get your confidence back. You know where you want to go. You know who you are. You have a sense of who you are, because you're always going to continue to grow based off experience. But it's a great example. That was a great one.
Yeah. I was so impressed by Izzy to kind of come into your spiritual awakening. That as a young man, a young Black man, and just following your path, what was called to you in your meditation, in your prayer life, your meditation life, and following that. And like you said, a lot of us are trying to after we have all this baggage, we're trying to do this
Yeah.
now, which makes it hard because you have to unlearn yourself, doubt, negative talk, and belief systems.
Right.
So I was very impressed, and I encourage you guys to go back and watch that one. Um, and one thing about his photography, when you go on his Instagram or whatever and you watch it, it's like he is capturing the souls. And I love it that he's capturing the souls of it. It looks like just black art
Yeah.
to me. So I really enjoyed him, and please go back and watch that one. I think we have something from Bree. Yeah, he killed it for sure. From Just a Cat Heart. Yeah, he killed it for sure. It was so cool listening to his journey. So proud of him. Yes. So then we had next is self-discovery and an identity. And we did that a week before.
Was that the one with your therapist friend?
No, that was just you and me talking about self-discovery and identity.
Oh, that one went crazy?
That had a lot of impressions. That was the next highest. Now, some of this doesn't mean that like it may not be views. It could be it got searched or like, a lot of things.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
that was good. And that's why I want to do another show, and I want to have Josh come on, and I want to have a panel. There's two things. I do want to get back to like talking about race and identity, but something that you said earlier that made me think about colorism. I want to have and we've had these conversations. These conversations have been had before, but about colorism and like kind of some of the responsibility that we hold in that, right? When we're saying certain things or, hearing things.
Like, we bash each other a lot. Like, I think there's almost like so example I'll provide is everybody saw the thing that happened with like Michael Rubin on the Breakfast Club. Jewish man talking about black culture in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
And why he thinks it's wrong, but it shouldn't have been him to speak on it. It should have been somebody else that should have spoke on it.
Right. Yes, I remember that.
I think it comes into play with just in that aspect because within our community, we do so much like self-damaging, whether it be like a joke, we're always clowning each other. But like to other people, like they might not view it as a joke. They're like, damn, why y'all always doing that to each other? You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't bringing your mans up or what have you? So I think with the colorism thing, like from the lightest to dark, like I even made a joke from, light-skinned folks. I mean, it's like actual fact, but it's also can be joking too. Like the light-skinned folks are treated better than the dark-skinned ones. You know what I'm saying? And
that's where colorism.
Yeah. So like I think there's a strong dialogue that goes with that. But I also think, and then even to the other point I was making, even with culture, I think the colorism conversation could then lead to a culture conversation of how do we then, like maybe we come up with some solutions. We have some other folks, maybe get a couple of activists on here or something. Like how do we come up with solutions to change some of these narratives for like, and I know it's small, there's small steps, there's small wins, small victories, but over time that can, snowball into something larger. Because there is a lot of opportunity that we have. There is a lot of social capital that we have within our culture, but because we want to crack a joke versus listening and like, hey man, I really dig that stuff that you're doing, bro. Can I learn more about that? We don't do as much of that. It doesn't seem as though, and that's just only from my purview. So it'd be nice just to listen to other folks, like what they got going on and things like that.
It would. So what I would say on that is, for one, Black folks, we didn't create colorism.
No, fact.
This is just systemic racism and just racism. And this is of being technically in my community considered a light-skinned woman. I do have a responsibility to, when stuff is saying stuff about someone of a darker complexion or saying these things, I have to stand up and be like, nah, because it's not, it's not right.
Facts.
You have to be like aware of what you're saying. And the treatments, and when you're noticing these treatments.
Right.
I think some people think being light-skinned is a personality trait. I've met those.
They do. Like, there's a lot of memes out there, like the light skin face.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like all those things. This is what a dark skinned person would. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of memes out there that perpetrate, or what's that? Keeps the cycle fluid versus shutting it down.
Right. Well, here we go. So Bridget says, I've been treated worse by Black folks than any other culture. Yeah. Me and Bridget, we ain't really on speaking terms. We've had this conversation and we have different views on things. I'm gonna put it out there. But I'm sorry that was your experience. But everything we've talked about, I stand on it. I love you, but I stand on it.
I mean, it's a topic. You know, there are.
Yeah.
Wallow even said it just in this last interview. He just was on the Breakfast Club. Was, you know, at this point in life, I would agree with his statement that, you know, I've had people outside the race do more for me than the folks inside my race. Like a lot of the opportunities that I've gotten, even in like my current jobs that I have, these are opportunities from relationships that I've made outside of my race. So there is opportunity both ways. You know what I'm saying? And in his closing, he said, love the people that love you.
That's
you know what I'm saying? When you're out here searching for it and trying to figure out your identity within something, that's cool to do that work because you need to know it. But also at the same time, you got to remember to love those that love you.
I agree with that. But one thing I'm not going to bash Black people. Now, do I think, yes, we do have to course correct each other 100% and hold ourselves accountable. But, yeah, I'm not going to bash us because there's.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if I didn't mean to say it.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying so you understand how I speak. I'm very careful publicly of how I speak when it comes to us.
Sure. And I'm
protective.
100%, as you should be.
I'm not saying that nobody needs to be held accountable. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I don't love anybody else. This is the community I'm a part of too.
Right.
And I have a responsibility to it.
Yeah, we all do.
We do.
100%. Yeah, we all do. I mean, you gotta wear it with courage and bravery. You gotta speak up when there is injustice that is involved. Because being brave and courageous is tough because in most of the time, I would imagine, I mean, at least for me, I'm one of like 5 in an organization of 5,000. So then that is even more weight. I just had my eval on Tuesday, and I had brought it up to I had 2 bosses in there doing my eval with me, and I hadn't even brought it up. I'm like, every day I walk into the office, this is my perspective. I got dreadlocks, Black male. It's all white folks everywhere. So I'm trying to create a pathway within Health and Human Services for more Black men, women alike to get into leadership in Department of Human and Health Services. But in order for that to happen is I got to be able to role model the behavior so that another mug get an interview. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if I set the wrong path, or if I set the wrong whatever, they ain't going to give nobody else another chance. They're like, oh yeah, we didn't see it from them. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. Like, and it's, you know, it's unintentional. It could be intentional. I don't know, but there is cultural bias that plays in interviews and all these things, as it shows from our statistical standing for the employees in leadership in HHS. It's all white women. There's a few white men. There's a few, but the majority is white women. So it's like, how do we make pathways for folks of different ethnicity and backgrounds to get in some of these leadership roles? How do we do more intentional work of promotion of folks to give the opportunities? And I'm not saying to give a handout for that person. If the person is deserving of the job, give them that. But also at the same time, is there an opportunity for it to happen? The only reason I'm not going to say the only reason because I did win my interview and I killed the interview. But
Right.
my name wouldn't even pass the algorithm if it wasn't pulled through because I didn't have. I think it asked for like 5 years of supervisor experience. I only had 2.
But in all fairness, you do, like, you know how you were saying, like, a lot of people from different cultures have done things, but you're not around. We did not grow up in a place that had predominantly
No
people that
facts.
look
No,
like us.
100%. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
plays, so that plays a role in too. So that's why I would like to, if we were to do some type of panel, now I would have to get emotionally prepared for that because
Facts.
you know how I get. It's a very sensitive thing, and to be able to articulate myself. Um, I would have you prepare for that. But to get people in different areas and have different experience, and all Black people have different experiences, which I understand that. And
Yeah.
we can be in the same, like Tim, you and me can be in the same city. You and me both in Iowa. We still have different experiences when it
Oh,
comes to
facts.
race. I'm a woman, so
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
different experience, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so
We got a
she
question.
said, look at your area. Would that change in a different city? Oh,
I
I
think it.
think I think only reason I said people are going to have different experiences in different cities, or if you're around where there's more different cultures, different backgrounds, it shapes you to what you're used to being around and how you think. If you're all, yesterday I was at a fish fry and there
Right.
was a Black woman there and they were doing like certain dances and she said, "Oh, I grew up in white suburbia, so I wasn't exposed to certain things
Right.
until I got older." So she didn't know, you know what I mean? Some
Right.
of the dances and things that were going on. Experience your location, the type of
If,
people that are around you. It's going to
facts.
shape your experience.
Facts. I mean, I think if we would have grew up on the South or
If I
East
went
Coast,
to a HBCU,
right? Yes, 100%. I would not be who I am right now. I can tell you right.
now we're just getting into coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would be right, just coast. If I went to a HBCU instead of Iowa State, it would have shaped me differently, right? Like I would
Right.
have because of my experience. So, so we just have to. We'll
Yeah.
get
Those
some people on here, and we can have
environmental.
the conversation. Bridget, you can come on here too. I'll have my attitude in check.
I'll be the mediator, so everybody's attitude is in
No,
check.
no, I'm just gonna. But
But truly, like even just thinking, like even in your environment, man, you know, like nature versus nurture. Like
Mhm.
there's things that you inherit based off your biology and your genes, but
Oh,
then
that.
the nature that you're around, your environment that you're around, has a big impact on you. Big impact on you.
You know, me and my friend Shay were talking about this, and we couldn't think of like the word for it. She sent it to me because we're talking about like slavery, where technically we're not even that far removed based on like all the DNA in you, how it gets passed down and trauma gets passed down. It's called,
Epigenetics.
yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
That would be
It's that
something
there's a
to
lot
look
of new
into.
research coming out about epigenetics.
Yeah. So it's still hold those cells get transferred.
Yeah, and there's certain things that can
It
trigger
was
it, and
crazy.
then
I don't know.
you try to figure out why I feel so much stress in this area from this happening.
Right.
And so then there's a lot of research about the epigenetics of gene mutation from
Right.
generation to generation. Yeah.
Um, so the next one was how technology and social media shifts the culture. That was the one where Angel B was on and
Oh yeah.
Mary Jane.
Yep.
And so they were creating that one had a lot of views on it. That one did have a lot of views on it. So basically they created like a social media platform called LifePal. It was like for entrepreneurs. It's like it's a Facebook
Yep.
essentially for that, but then talking how they got into tech. And then you have like being a woman in tech.
Yeah. It got pretty deep. And even like
So,
for both of them too, like being a black woman and a white woman, like their perspectives were so unique because the
mhm,
only common theme that I saw was that there's always going to be a man that thinks that they're smarter
right.
when it comes to technology, and they've had to like prove themselves countless times to show that we can rumble with the big dogs too. So stop counting us out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a good one. I have another friend that got into tech too. When I went to visit Kate, she was talking about like things she has to do. Like she goes, like really, you gotta like check people like real quick. Like when they're doing things, you gotta pull them. Like you have to be very assertive
Right.
in that field. So that was a good one. I like that one. And I love what they're doing. You guys check out LifePal. I'm gonna put that link in there in the comments as well. So then the next one was women preparing for marriage. That was the one with Bridget and oh my god, Demetrius Hood.
Reverend Doctor.
Yeah.
Reverend
Yeah, that
Doctor.
was a good one. What stood out to you in that episode?
I think there's like nuance to like what traditional means. That's what mostly stood out to me. And what I mean by that is every person's going to do what they thought they were supposed to do to
Mhm.
prepare to be in a successful relationship until there's like a turn or an experience that triggers them to like, okay, I need to change. This isn't what I thought I needed to do. This is actually the steps I need to take if I really want to do it. Because I think when it all comes down to it, I think there's more of the loving and the infatuation of the idea to like be in a marriage that we forget about like those small fundamental things that are still like traditional in the sense of this is how I prepare to get this done if I really want to have it done.
Right.
But then the nuance is that looks different for each person. Like there's not one like roadmap that I can draw out A B C D E F G and be like, here, Tamika, you take these steps and apply these to you. Here, Brienne, you take these. Bridget, you take these. Everybody has their own steps, but there's still like traditional values embedded in those steps that still are followed, like which I think is the foundation for success, which is communication,
100%.
intimacy. You know what I'm saying? Love language stuff. So
And then it depends like where you're coming from once you get into that relationship or marriage. You come from being single for a long time now. That transition, that's a transition.
big transition. You used to being by yourself, dolo.
Right. I gotta like consider somebody else first.
Right, facts.
What they think.
That's a
So
fact.
yeah, that was a good one. And then even in that conversation, I think was brought up, we didn't really get deep into it about submission. You know what? We should have an episode on that as well, of what that means to each person and their thoughts on it.
Right.
The next one was positive school discipline and education. That was all you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to work in the schools. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just waiting for my call to come back, baby. That's it. And I need 140, and I'll be back in there. I'll do 122, either or. I just need it. But like truly, I think that there's fundamental things that need to happen for successful discipline to happen, and oftentimes we jump and we assume, and then when our assumptions and our jumps, our conclusions are wrong, then we take it out on the youth. But as adults, we're supposed to be able to provide the role modeling, the structure, the consistency of what we expect, and we don't do that. We don't do it at all. But the youth are the ones that get the blame for that and the brunt of that, which is why our dropout rates are what they are, which is why kids and families don't feel like they belong to any school system or want to be a part of it, because we aren't consistent enough on our end to do those fundamental things. And I'll speak that till I'm blue in the face to anybody.
Anybody. You stand on business.
Stand on it.
That was a good one. Thanks for sharing your thoughts on that one. You really led that one. Then it was What Feeds Your Soul.
Oh yeah, that was a solid one.
I like that one. That was, we were just kind of all just chatting what feeds our soul. We got another. She said, yep, praise God for ESA and AZ.
What's ESA?
Yeah, what's ESA? I thought you knew, Tim. I was like, well, you let us know. And then the next, and then this is in the last 28 days. So then the last one was church hurt. And Tim, you weren't on there for that one. That's when Bridget was a guest and she kind of was talking about, oh, hold on. She's about to tell us. It's alternative. Okay, cool. She was talking about her journey of experiencing church hurt and like overcoming that. That was a really good episode. And I wish you were there for that one, but because we talked about you. You've had some church hurt.
I've had a little. I need to get over it though.
Yeah.
It's just like what I would love for like and I've spoke about this before on the podcast, is a community of like 10 to 15 people. We're close. We're getting intimate. We're all learning together. There isn't that pressure or judgment that, we're not further along, or I'm as far as you or as far as them. You dig what I'm saying? I think oftentimes when we get in, and this could be different now. I got to get back out there and do it, which I could do it at any point in time. I just don't, is going to find another church family and getting back in it. Honestly, I just haven't.
Yeah.
You're getting back in the game though.
I'm back in the game. I've been going to this Bible study. We're working out of this workbook called Trustworthy. Oh, I think I have the book right here. Actually, it's a workbook. I read the book Uninvited in another group a long time ago, but I don't know if you guys can see it. So it's a workbook. It's the study of Kings, of 1 and 2 Kings, overcoming our greatest struggles to trust God. So just basically talking to all the kings and like basically when they didn't trust God and kind of when they were not obedient or just lacking that trust. You start out strong, right?
Yeah.
And the consequences are things that happen. We talk about like, how you can get influenced. It's a good book. It's a good, really actually learning the Bible and learning scripture and like referencing it. There was this girl here in apartment complexes, they have portals and you can like post in there. Like I could say, oh, hey, someone's parked in my parking spot. Move.
Get out my spot before you get told, bruh.
This girl told me that, there was a lady, she's like, yeah, it's been on my heart to start a Bible study. And I was like, no, I'm not trying to do all that. I'm tired. But I just had said I was trying to get closer to God. So I do go to the Bible study and it's cool. The interesting thing is everyone's, I could tell is younger. Like when you get a certain age, you start like who's old and who's young, right? Like age. But these women were young, I would say late 20s to early 30s. And they were, I learned a lot. Like there was a lot of wisdom. And even when we were talking about like, oh, we're going to be like in the Old Testament, we're going to be doing this. And she was like, this is a comfortable space. You might feel some type of way in some of these, and this is a safe place. We gonna discuss it and get over our offense. It was cool. And then I started, what did I start doing? going to this church Legacy. It's pretty cool. It's like it's growing really fast. I see people from the old church I went to there, but I
Oh,
like it. I
word.
like that the pastor he's probably like 34, and it's
Oh, he's my age. What's happening?
and I would say it's a mixed race church, so and
Yeah.
it's non-denominational, but it's growing. So you have like Black, Hispanic, white, like you just all,
Come together.
come together. So it's a nice church. I've gone a handful of times, and I'm going to continue going. Um, Maybe eventually get involved, but right now I'm just
Crawl before you walk, baby.
I'm just trying, bud.
Yeah.
We
That's
have
what's
a
up.
couple comments. Bridget said, "You're describing discipleship. We have this at our Bible college." Yep. Oh, they offer it online, Tim. You see that, Tim?
Yeah, I see it. 200.
Yep.
And we gonna get the
Yeah.
lighting right next week.
Yeah, we're gonna get the Tim. We need to work on your
I
lighting.
know,
Yes,
bro.
we had this whole conversation. Tim actually his backgrounds blend, so he gonna have to sit somewhere else next week.
We'll figure it
See.
out,
You said
bro.
who all said it? I said
I
I'm
bet you was
glad
the
she
only
did.
one.
Right. I said no. It's been mentioned to me before. Now you'll listen. See, if it comes from me, he's not gonna listen.
I just want to know how many people said something. You only said one person, so
I said two, but and just a kid at her said I was actually going to switch around the desk. Bree, help your husband out. Okay,
I'm
so
cool,
which show
bro.
to top it off? Which um shows stand out? Like when you think of one or two up top of your head.
I like the one with Israel just because personal bias, but I like the one with your therapist friend on there too. I thought that was pretty introspective and great insight of the development of therapy and then like the actual like development of self. I thought that was pretty dope.
Yes. Hi, John. John said less is more.
Keep it simple, baby. I'm with you. I'm with you. I couldn't agree more with you, big bro. We'll be right next week.
I that's my fit. Being your authentic self. That's the one with LaVoyche. I
Yeah,
actually
love
saw
you.
her yesterday.
Yeah.
So she wants to come back on. So these are the two topics, and they would be like panel. The one is basically it was talking about mental health, but we're going to talk about trauma, internalized trauma, and that would be like a panel thing. We'll get the more logistics and narrow down on that. But then remember we were talking about that we wanted to talk about grief, and I said I felt like we would need a
grief specialist, grief therapist.
She does therapy on grief.
Yeah, grief is tough, man. That would be a real deep conversation, to be honest with you. Because I think a lot of times we only think of grief as in the sense of like death. Grief is everywhere, like losing of a friend and that are still alive, a job loss, leaving a job, getting hired at a new job, making new friends, making new relationships, new peer groups. Like you grieve a lot of things. Losing something, your phone, your wallet, whatever. You don't realize the attachments that you have to some of these tangible things.
Right.
And then when they're gone, you're like, oh, why do I feel this way? That's that grief.
Right. It'll get you.
Facts.
Well, those were Yumi Silavoiche will be coming back on. I hope to have another therapist coming on. It'll be some good stuff. And Tim's gonna get his lighting together. Now that you heard it from other people.
We gonna get right, bro. We gonna get right, man. We gonna get right, Mike. We gonna get right, Mike.
Well, do you have any parting words about this? Okay, what is your journey so far being a podcast host and doing these episodes?
I mean, I think it's cool. Um,
Tim,
I,
come on.
I'm trying to think of like I like it. I don't. Some days I gotta extra pump myself up because Sundays are like my days when I'm like don't have nothing to do for my brain. So, but once I get here, I'm good to go. I think it's fun. I like the authenticity that we bring to it. And I like when we have guests on here. I think it's cool. We're just ready to when it pops. We just waited for the pop. Yeah, football. We've talked about trying to change up different times and things, but I got two women in my life that I gotta go off they calendar and they schedule. So I just do it for the love of the game.
For the love of the game. Well, I'm glad. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on this Sunday. I know we're on a 2-week hiatus, but we will be back next week.
What's our topic? You already got it?
Tim, please. No, I don't. Y'all will know the topic on Wednesday.
Yeah, there.
If you guys enjoyed this show, please like, share. You know what I keep forgetting to do? Let me do this real quick. Tim, I created a ticker. Look.
Hit that notification button.
Look, yes. So if you guys enjoyed this show, please like, share, and hit that notification button on YouTube. You can also listen, follow, and rate the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'll put the links in the comment section, but they are in our About section. If you're interested or you know anyone who wants to be a guest or you want to be a guest, or if there's a topic that you guys want to really mess with, give me or email me at bougiegirl@gmail.com. That's BOOSHEGURL@gmail.com. And until next time, you guys, peace and blessings.
Peace.